Hey dancers, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be walking you through a beginner dance conditioning class. So we're going to do a warm-up, a technique exercise, and a cool down, all meant to strengthen those dance muscles. Let's get started. So for this specific class, we are going to be using PBT exercises. PBT is Progressing Ballet Technique. It's a really beautiful program that a lot of dance studios and programs themselves use. So our very first warm-up is going to engage your core. Your core is so important when you're dancing. It's important for balance, it's important for weight shifting, it's important to keep your control and to maintain a lifted torso. So for PBT, they do recommend that you use a prop. I do not have that prop, so if you're similar to me, you're gonna follow along with me. We are going to show a video from the PBT website that has this little kind of exercise ball. If you have one of those, it kind of makes the exercise more challenging, so feel free to use it, okay? So go ahead and join me down on your back. You're gonna lay down. Now, what you wanna make sure is that you're pressing the space between your low back and the floor closed. So you don't wanna have this kind of open, you can see my fingertips, space right here. You wanna close that space, which will allow your navel to pull into your spine. From here, hands go behind the head. You're going to lift up nice and tall, keeping your elbows out. Then the knees are gonna come to a tabletop. If you have that little ball, it would go right in between your knees, and you'll wanna push in. From here, go ahead and follow along. We're gonna extend up with gorgeous pointed toes. We'll bring it down to a 45 and then draw it in, 2, 3, 4, and up. We're gonna do 5 of these. If you're shaking, that's okay, I am too. Good, this is number 3. Making sure to keep the navel drawn in to the spine and down. Good, let's go one more, elbows are out. Squeezing, pull it in, and hold. From here, dancers, the toes go down to the floor, tabletop. Down to the floor, tabletop. Keep the space between the low back and the floor closed. 2 more, 1. Breathe through this, and down. From here, release the head down. Drop the feet and take a breath. Okay, now that we have our core fired up, we're gonna move into our technique exercise. We're gonna work on our turnout. So turnout is rotating from those hips, okay? It's this constant wrapping feeling that allows everything to be rotated out to the sides of the room. Now, for your turnout, you wanna activate your DORs, your deep outward rotators. This exercise can be done with a big exercise ball and a band around the tops of your legs, or without. I'm gonna show you the modification without first, just in case you're someone at home with no props, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do is lay down again. We are going to bring our feet flat to the floor. You wanna make sure, again, that space between the low back and your floor is shut, and your toes are pointed, legs are straight. What we'll do from here is draw the legs in using the lower abdominals. From here, you'll rotate out to your butterfly position. Now you'll notice that your heels are kissing, okay? You're gonna bring the knees out to the side and push your legs straight, keeping your toes out to the sides of the room. Then we'll point our toes and bring them back parallel. Let's try a couple together. So this is the exercise that you will do, use your abdominals, if you do not have the props that I'm about to show. Push out as you push, maintain the wrap of the hips, the toes facing out, come parallel and point. Bring it in, last one. Rotate out, heels are together, push out in a turned out position, point and parallel. So if that's you, and you don't have the prop, that's the exercise that you're gonna do, and you're gonna try 10 of those. Now, if you are somebody with a prop, follow this next set of exercises. All right, so you're gonna need two different things. The very first thing you're gonna need is your TheraBand. What you're gonna do with your TheraBand is tie it around the top of the quads. You can also use one of those loop bands, the ones that don't have an opening like this. It's just a continuous loop. You wanna make sure there's enough resistance, but not too tight where you're very restricted in your movement. The second thing you're gonna need is your big exercise ball. Perfect. That was convenient. So from here, dancers, you're gonna take this guy. You have your TheraBand around the tops of those quads, and you're gonna place your feet on the ball. Now, this is going to be significantly harder than without the prop because you're now using this unstable tool. So when you use something that's unstable like this, it forces those stabilization muscles to fire up, which you need those for dance, of course, okay? From here, make sure you're at the correct distance to where you can straighten your legs out. Let me get situated, good. Now you're going to press up. What we'll do from here is draw the feet in, open to your butterfly, press out 2, 3, 4, parallel together. Draw it in, press out butterfly, heels together, push out, and parallel. Good. Now, if you I feel like I need to kind of readjust where I was on the ball. You want to make sure that your hips are high. Right here, your hamstrings fire up. Behind your leg, your abs need to fire up too to stabilize. You push out straight before you bring it in 2, 3, 4. Rotate out 6, 7, 8. From here, use your deep outward rotators to push straight 2, 3, 4. Bring it in 6, 7, 8. Bring it in. Rotate out. Use your DORs. Push your glutes, should be fired up. Parallel. Let's do 2 more. Bring it in. Push it out. Squeeze your abs to stabilize. Parallel. Together. Last one in. Push it out. Rotate. Toes are out. Point. Parallel. Return to the floor and reset. All right, darlings, we have made it to our cool down. So we started by activating our abdominals. We moved into strengthening our turnout. And now we're gonna work on a little bit of obliques, as well as spinal articulation, as well as stretching the hamstrings. So we get this beautiful class today with all of these different exercises targeting different muscle groups and functions, okay? What you will need for this is a lovely TheraBand. I did swap colors. I decided to choose a little bit lighter of a weight so that there's not so much resistance. If you would like to do this without a TheraBand, totally doable. So just follow along, okay? All right, dancers, we are going to start seated. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine. You wanna make sure that there is no kind of curve this direction in the back and that we're not sticking our booty out that direction. We're nice and vertical. Navel is pulled into the spine. Neutral pelvis, shoulders are rolled down, basically in our gorgeous posture, okay? So what we're gonna do here is take the TheraBand and place it around our toes, lift up nice and tall. We are going to open to one side as we pull the TheraBand back, and then we come up vertical. Repeat to the other side, keeping those sits bones down, and sit up tall. Again, dancers, back 2, 3, 4. The eye line changes. We're getting into those side abdominals, your obliques. One more time, other way, and lift. From here, you're gonna tuck your belly button into your spine as you roll all the way down to the floor. So I'm gonna release my TheraBand so I have some space to come down. I tuck it in, I roll all the way down through my spine, one vertebra at a time. From here, I'm going to release one foot out of the TheraBand, and I'm going to pull up with the TheraBand to bring my leg up high. Feel free to readjust your band if you need to. We're gonna pull this in. Make sure that when you come in, I think I kept it straight. I want you to bend the knee to get the knee height higher, then lengthen the leg up. We're gonna hold here. Go ahead and bend the elbows and pull it in. If you would like to bring it higher over your head, you can. From here, dancers, you're gonna do little tiny circles or little rond de jambes. Pulling it in, getting into the back of that leg, into your hamstrings. Good. When you feel like you've gotten a good enough stretch in those hamstrings, you're gonna bring it down. Adjust your grip on your TheraBand. Go ahead and switch which foot is inside the band and release the other leg. So reminder to keep that stretched leg, the bottom one nice and straight, bend the top knee in and lift up tall. Pull it in. If you would like to go overhead, you can. From here, little rond de jambes, little circles from the hip. Keep that bottom foot pointed, extended. Good. When you feel like you've had enough of a stretch here, you're gonna lower down. Place both feet into that TheraBand. Come up from the crown of your head, a little bit of abdominals, and come back up to your vertical posture. So if you don't have a band, what you could do is just maintain the same line without the tool. And then when you do this part, you can just bring the leg up and stretch, pull it in. You could still do a little rond de jambe by still using the bend of the elbow to pull the leg higher. Bend and release, same thing for the other side, take it up, little circles. And then once you get back here, you'll still wanna use your abs to bring yourself up nice and tall into a vertical posture. It's still a really fabulous exercise, even if you don't have a TheraBand at home. So great job. Dancers, wonderful job following along this beginner dance conditioning class. I love, love, love conditioning. I think it's a really fabulous way to make sure that you stay injury-free, that you stay nice and strong, and it helps you progress your dance technique faster and more efficiently. Thank you so much to PBT for giving me access to their library of fabulous dance exercises. If you want more from them, go ahead and go to the video description, click the links, learn more about what they do and how you can use their program to help build various muscle groups. Until then, my loves, I will see you next week. Happy dancing.